Welcome to the Village Board meeting, the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, April 27. In the world of social distancing, we are undertaking this meeting via Zoom, as is the case for all of the official meetings of the village, as well as so many others. We are in an electronic environment. You can always go to pleasantville-ny.gov and find out the information about how to log into this meeting, future village board meetings, and also the meetings of the zoning board, and planning commission and architectural review board. So we have present all of the trustees, David Vinjamori, Joe Stargiotti, Nicole Asquith, and Stephen Lord, and we have trustee in waiting, Paul Alvarez, who, absent the coronavirus, would be a trustee now, and we would have sent Steve off with a hearty thank you and a few amusing comments.
Oh, God.
Corona has intervened, and as a result, the election has been postponed. And as of this date, there was some suggestion that it was going to be rescheduled for June, but we have no solid date on that. I had a constituent ask whether there could be a sort of a clearinghouse location somewhere about the status of all elections. And maybe that's a conversation we can have among our group, but also with the County Board of Elections, because I think most folks in the public are unclear about which end is up. Couple of other announcements to make. The first one is a big shout out for the 2020 census. The census got kicked off, obviously, at an extremely difficult time when the world was turned upside down by the coronavirus. Some of the deadlines have been extended, but it remains critically important that Westchester get as close to a complete count as it possibly can. So the first round of the census involved everybody getting a postcard, giving them a code. They can log in on a computer, do it on a tablet, do it on a smartphone, even do it by telephone. And respond to the census. I did it online. It took all of 5 minutes. Since then, folks who have not yet responded will have found in their mailbox a paper form. That paper form can be filled out and sent back, but it also reiterates the means by which you can log on and get this done online. So the county keeps track on a weekly basis of the level of response for all of the 45 municipalities in Westchester, and I can tell you that the Village of Pleasantville is not currently in the top 10. We always think of ourselves as belonging in that place. All we have to do in order to achieve that is to get everybody to respond to the census. So please, dig out that postcard, look for the envelope you got in the mail, even go onto the census website, and I think you can find your way to the proper place to fill it out, even if you don't have the code. So it is really important. This is not just an abstract sort of academic exercise to determine how many people live in our community and in our county and in our state, but it is a critically important matter for the distribution of federal funds. There are all kinds of monies that are distributed based on population, and of course congressional representation is also a portion based on population. There is solid reason to think, according to the Department of Planning, that Westchester was undercounted in 2010 by as many as 100,000 people. If it was actually undercounted by 100,000 people, that amounts to a loss of $25 million a year in federal money. Over a 10-year period, we're talking very large sums of money. So it is really important that everybody respond. The government uses this only for the census information. There is no other connection of any sort, and folks of any stripe should have no fear whatsoever to respond, and they should do so as a civic duty to help make sure that we get as close to a complete count as possible. So I'll keep track of where we stand and report on a periodic basis of when we have cracked the top 10, but I know we can do it. Come on, Pleasantville. Obviously, all of our lives remain upended by the whole coronavirus crisis. Several of us are on a county municipal call every other day, and also following the reports of Andrew Cuomo, who has a daily press conference. As I'm sure you have read in the press, the good news in dark times is that the numbers have stabilized and have started to come down. Clearly, the efforts of everybody throughout the region and the state to flatten the curve have been successful. I was on a conference call last week with both Northern Westchester and with Phelps Hospital, both part of the Northwell network. And I think it's fair to say that both of those hospitals were bent but not broken by the demands. But I can tell you the demands were significant, with both of those hospitals experiencing a very high demand for intensive care beds and sadly more deaths, a significant spike in deaths as a result of the COVID crisis. The numbers today in Pleasantville are 87 confirmed positives. That is almost certainly an undercount for a variety of reasons, including the fact that there are some positives that have not been ascribed to communities yet. And I know for sure of at least 2 folks that we have lost as a result of COVID. And so amid the good news that the numbers have started to improve, the number of hospitalizations has dropped a bit. The number of deaths has dropped now statewide below 400 a day, still a tragic and horrifying number. It is clearly still the time to maintain all of the care we have started to maintain. And lots of us, and I encourage every one of us, get that mask. Here's my latest creation. Thank you to my wife, who's been sewing these masks. But it is both the state regulation as well as good sense to wear masks anytime you are in any public environment where you cannot maintain a social distancing of at least 6 feet. So please, please, please carry a mask with you. Make sure you pop that on in any situation where you can't maintain that social distance. And don't hesitate to gently and diplomatically prod somebody you see who's not doing that to please toe the line. Because the efforts we make are protecting us and protecting others, and none of us have the right to harm somebody else. So please, please, please follow all those guidelines. Related discussion, as you know, there has been lots of discussion and some difference of opinion about our decision to continue the Pleasantville Farm Market. We've been in constant conversation with them, and a big, big shout out to Peter Rogovin, to Steve Bates, to all the people at Foodchester, the entire board. Those guys have worked extraordinarily hard in order to create a very well-controlled environment, one that I think arguably is much better controlled than other retail environments, and to maintain the availability of this fresh food to the folks who are interested in getting it, and to maintain this avenue for the farmers and food makers who are able to supply it. So if you're interested in the farm market, social distancing is required. Masks are an absolute requirement. All of the vendors are wearing gloves and masks. All of the food is now behind the tables and is not reached into by the various customers. And I think the farm market will have more to say soon about an effort to increase the availability of pre-orders so that you can pre-order and pay for stuff and just pick it up. So farm market continues outside in Memorial Plaza on Saturday mornings. One thing I would like to point out is we've seen a little bit of a line in the morning with people lining up before the farm market starts. That line dissipates quickly, and within an hour or so, there's no line at all. Part of that comes from people's fear that if they don't get there early, stuff will get sold out. Obviously, we can't guarantee that, and the chance to pre-order may help with that. But what I can report is the last several weekends, long after the line has completely disappeared, there's still plenty of food at all the booths. So if you're able and willing to delay your arrival at the farm market a little bit, that would be appreciated. As I mentioned in the past, you can sign up on Governor Cuomo's site. I'll put this up here and share my screen. Governor.ny.gov is a great resource for all things COVID. And it's also the site where if you log in the morning, you can see the governor's press conference. So I encourage everybody to take a look at that site if they're interested. And as you can see, you also have the opportunity down here to sign up for an email and stay updated. And most every evening, you will get an email from the governor's office giving you an update on what has transpired in the course of the day. Good opportunity to remind you also here at pleasantville-ny.gov. Here's our Pleasantville, New York homepage. Here is an opportunity not only where you'll see the links for our agendas and the opportunity to find out how to get into our meetings, but also click in this left column to news and announcements. News and announcements takes you to two things. One is the emergency notification system, where we ask you to sign up for Code Red. That's a subscription service we have signed up for that allows us to reach you in an emergency. We will only use it for that purpose, but we very strongly encourage you to sign up for it. And then down here, you can subscribe to news and check off the things you are interested in. So for example, if you're only interested in the goings-on of one or another board, you can click that. But what I really, 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 really encourage everybody to sign up for is this one, Village and Local News. Our administrator, Eric Marcy, sends out a COVID update periodically as well. I've been reposting that to some various other sites, and I think it gets reposted to our Facebook page. But you will get it directly in your inbox if you sign up for those two sites. A big shout out to Lisa and Dave McCullough of Scarborough and Tweed. I think lots of you know them. They operate a business here in Pleasantville right opposite the Clinton Street Senior Center. They have repurposed some of their manufacturing capabilities to make various kinds of personal protective equipment, and they are making washable face masks. With the generosity we have always known of the McCulloughs, they reached out to us and donated 150 washable face masks to the Village of Pleasantville for our employees. So shout out to Lisa and Dave, Pleasantville folks through and through, who have been generous to us in so many ways in the past and have proven to be so again. Leaf blowers. We have had a variety of comments from various places, including from various other communities that are going through this same story with discussion about leaf blowers. And here is my take on this. As we work our way through this crisis, we're asking landscapers and homeowners to stop using leaf blowers. The debris and the allergens that are kicked up by leaf blowers are a concern for folks who are dealing with respiratory problems. The noise is a problem for kids who are having online school sessions, and it's a problem for people who are trying to work from home. Given the greater challenges of the day, this is not the time to use blowers to clean up leaves and debris. If you or your landscaper use leaf blowers, please stop. There has been a request that we do that by administrative edict for a whole series of bureaucratic reasons. We're not in a position to do that. The communities that have done that, we're in a different circumstance because of when they did it, because of whether they declared a state of emergency prior to a certain date in March, or the presence of some sort of regulation already on their books. We are not in a position to do that as an executive act today. So we are asking everybody, put up with a little more debris in your yard for this time period in order to keep the air clear for folks who are dealing with respiratory problems and kids and people working at home to have a little bit of quiet. A sad report, and that is that Karsten Johnson, longtime Pleasantville resident and for many, many years the village historian, passed away on Friday. Karsten had been in ill health, but we were very, very, very sad to hear that he passed away on Friday. His work is present in 1,000 ways all around this village, including a huge amount of work that he invested over a long period of time in helping us with our historical archives. Shane will report that Karsten was a periodic visitor to PCTV, and we have a modest library of videos with Karsten talking about all matters related to architectural history, to Pleasantville history, and to history in general. a remarkable man who did enormous good work for the village of Pleasantville, and we are sad to say goodbye to Karsten. So we'll have more to say about that at appropriate time. The news of this is very new, but sad news to say the least. Two other things to report. In our socially distanced world where we don't all gather in the same room, we are planning to have a Facebook Live town hall session on Wednesday, May 6th at 7:30. Our communications folks will be setting that up and sending that out, so you'll hear more about it. But if that's of interest to you, Wednesday, May 6th at 7:30, a Facebook Live town hall where I'll be happy to comment on anything and everything, and look forward to doing so. And then the last thing I wanted to report is there is a kind of an exciting thing going on in the New York metro area tomorrow, and that is there's going to be a 40-minute joint flyover by the U.S. military Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds. The precision jet teams are coming to New York City as a flyover in a salute to frontline COVID-19 responders. So I don't know how well you can see this. It's kind of a dark thing. But tomorrow, starting at 12 p.m., both the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds will appear somewhere in the area of the George Washington Bridge. They're going to make a big loop around Newark, cross over and loop around Manhattan, head back out over Queens and around Long Island, Hempstead, etc., loop back around, cross through Stamford, Greenwich, and be in Westchester somewhere north of White Plains. That's expected to be somewhere, I guess, around 12:30 p.m. Then they make their way straight back down through the metro area, exiting at 12:40. So somewhere around 12:30 tomorrow, Tuesday, April 28. Certainly in the realm of White Plains. It's not quite clear whether any of us in Pleasantville would actually be able to see this from where we are, but if it's a matter of interest, you might want to be paying attention to the skies around 12:30 tomorrow. A really, really nice moment to honor the first responders.
Peter, can I just add one thing there? So you're going to hear them as much as see them probably, because of the sheer number of planes. And for everybody who follows these things, the U.S. Navy, Blue Angels, U.S. Air Force, Thunderbirds don't really ever fly together. So this is one of those very rare moments where both demonstration teams will be flying with each other, right. Which really doesn't happen very often at all. Yeah. So it's very special.
And so
I've seen them before.
Sonic boom is doing it.
You'll be able to hear them.
Yeah,
you'll definitely be able to hear them.
Yeah.
What's that?
So at any rate, this map obviously is entirely schematic, but this line crosses Stamford and then makes a turn north of White Plains and heads south. So
yeah, they're gonna make that left-hand turn over the reservoirs between us and the airport.
Over the dam.
Over the dam. So north of the dam, right? So that's the rally point for the final run down south. So they'll be turning somewhere between Westchester County Airport, those reservoirs, and Armonk.
Okay. So odds are in the village of Pleasantville, we would hear them but not see them.
Unless you might get a glimpse of them low over the trees. The weather's supposed to be very nice tomorrow, so we might get a shot at it. Well, they were suggesting everybody please don't now jump in your car and try to go places and mingle socially. They want you to view these guys from the safety of your house.
That would be contrary to the goal. Further, I assume there'll be videos as well from the setting. So at any rate, that's kind of an exciting thing and a well-deserved moment. I can tell you, in my day job, I have a number of healthcare clients as well as a wife involved in healthcare, and I'm on the board of overseers over at Phelps Hospital. And I can tell you this has been an extraordinarily tough time for everybody and remains so. The same is true for our Pleasantville Police and our Voluntary Ambulance Corps, as well as our fire department. So those are folks who have delivered great service to us in an environment none of us, and certainly none of them, anticipated they would ever confront. So the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels are here tomorrow for you guys too. So
Right.
Thank you very much. Any further comments or announcements? All right. Any comment from the public, if we have any members of the public who are hoping to comment? There being none, off we go to the resolutions. So the first and the biggie here, number 80, we'll go in the order we normally would go if we were sitting together. You get it, Nicole. You're muted. Was that
Trying to
purposeful?
stop any interruptions,
Numbers are too big to talk about.
arrivals of children or anything. Okay. Whereas the village administrator presented a tentative budget for the fiscal year 2020-2021, and whereas a public hearing was duly held on April 13th, 2020 before the Board of Trustees, and now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Pleasantville's 2020-2021 fiscal year budget is adopted as follows. General fund expenditures, $16,866,927. Special assessments, $8,038. Omitted taxes, $2,003. Village-wide tax levy, $11,660,408. General fund non-property tax revenues, $4,625,249. General fund appropriated fund balance, $571,229. Assessed valuation, $120,468,208. Tax rate per $1,000 assessed valuation is 96.7924, which equates to a tax rate increase of 1.91%. And then, of course, all of the details of the budget are attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
So as Nicole just read, all of those numbers produce a tax rate increase of 1.91%, which Eric is for a typical homeowner, $80.
About $80. Yep.
$80. All of the detail, as also Nicole mentioned, is provided in backup. If you go to our Novus agenda, which you can get to through pleasantville-ny.gov, all of these are clickable downloads. If you're interested in digging into the budget on a line-by-line basis, or even just on an overview, any of these items are available to you online. And if you are so inclined and missed our public hearing on the budget at the last meeting, that is up there at pctv76.org. Again, it was a Zoom meeting, but Eric Marcy walked everyone through a detailed picture of the budget, which I think is a great overview for everybody. Perversely, in the world of social distancing, the presentation materials are probably even a little more accessible than they would have been in the room, because we were able to share the screen. The only loss being, Patty Dwyer, if you're watching, which I imagine you're not, the animated GIFs didn't animate as a result. So, any comments or questions about the budget? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Steve, number 81.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the refuse rates for fiscal year 2020 to 2021 as follows. For condominium units, $359.75. One family residence, $479.67. Two family residence, $719.51. And the three family residence, $1,060.38.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Joe, number 82.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following water rates for the fiscal year 2020-2021. Residents, $64.74 per 1,000 cubic feet. Non-residents in a district, $82.80 per 1,000 cubic feet. Non-residents, $97.33 per 1,000 cubic feet. Bulk sales, residential rates plus New York City raw water costs. And cottage school residential rates less New York City raw water costs. Ready to serve quarterly charges, 5/8 inch lines, $57, and for non-residents, $71. 3/4 inch line, 74. Residential rate is $74, and for non-residential, it's $88. 1 inch line for residents, $121, and for non-residents, $134. For 1 1/4 inch. For residents, $180, and for non-residents, $194. For 1.5 inch line, for residents, $253, and for non-residents, $267. And for 2 inch line, $359 and $373 for non-residents. Sprinkler system quarterly charges, a 4 inch line for residents is $360, and for non-residents is $373. For 6 inch lines, it's $704 for residents, and for non-residents, $718. And for 8 inch lines for residential, for resident charges, it's $1,394, and for non-residents, it's $1,408. And lastly, unit dwellings, UN 4, $387, UN 5, $442, UN 6, $1,035, UN 7, $304, UN 8, $718, UN 10, $414, and UN 11 is $272.
Is there a second?
Second.
So these numbers are unchanged from last year.
Joe, could you repeat those numbers?
No, I can't.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. David, 83.
Resolve the Board of Trustees, in accordance with village law, certifies the amounts of unpaid water rents from village property owners and hereby authorizes the village treasurer to levy unpaid water rents to the 2020-21 tax roll.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
As is always the case, when we come to the end of the fiscal year, if you are behind in your water payments, it gets rolled over to your taxes. So it's not a great way to borrow money, and we encourage everybody to catch up. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 84. Nicole?
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the tax warrant for the fiscal year 2020-2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
That's the document that authorizes the tax rate for the coming year. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 85. Steve?
85, resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the master fee schedule revised as of April 23rd, 2020.
Same story.
And as attached in the record.
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. You want to call out what's changed, Eric?
The refuse rates have changed, and that is about it.
Right.
Mostly everything has stayed the same.
So
And that can be found on the village clerk site. What's that, Marie?
The raw water. We went from that rate to a verbal description.
Oh, right. So as Joe read off, instead of putting a rate, we put verbiage because of that New York City raw water cost.
For bulk sales.
For the
Right.
bulk.
That's
all right. Well, here it is. Thrilling reading. If you are so inclined, you can click right into it right here and see what the fee schedule is for everything that might develop. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Joe, 86.
Can I ask who seconded the,
Did we get a second?
I second it. Joe seconded.
thank you, Joe.
Now you can first this one, number 86.
Number 86. Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, MS4, annual report for the reporting period ending March 9th, 2020, as prepared by the Superintendent of Public Works, with public access to the report available on the village website, www.pleasantville-ny.gov.
Is there a second?
Second.
Here it is, all 36 pages of it, which is a state-required report about our stormwater management inflows and the like. Comments, questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Aye.
David, 87.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the promotion of Michael Ferguson to the job title Road Maintenance Foreman, Job Code 0435, CSEA Wage Schedule A, Step 2, Salary $85,566, effective May 2nd, 2020. Said appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 12 weeks to a maximum of 52 weeks.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mike has been with us a long time. I think of him as a Pleasantville guy, even though he actually moved a little bit north, but he continues to have his heart here on the day job. The road maintenance foreman position was made vacant by the retirement of Robert Travis, who we sent off into retirement with a thank you. In fact, thank yous headed in both directions, from us to him and him to us. We are pleased to see Mike advance into that role. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 88. Back to Nicole.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Public Works, hereby authorizes the appointment from the Westchester County Eligible Promotion List number 02415 of Licia Albanese to the job title Senior Office Assistant Automated Systems, job code 0751, with a start date of June 1st, 2020. CSEA Wage Schedule B, Group 7, Step 3, salary of $68,272. Said appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 12 weeks to a maximum of 52 weeks.
Is there a second?
Second.
Likewise, Licia has been with us several years, and we congratulate her. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Steve, 89.
Off mute. There we go. Well, let's see, 89. Okay, whereas on April 13th, 2020, the Village Board of Trustees accepted dedication of the sanitary sewer mains and water mains at the Toll Brothers Enclave in Pleasantville, at the Pleasantville subdivision, and therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the request by Toll Brothers for release of performance bond number 579800054.
Is there a second?
Second.
Self-explanatory, I think. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Joe, number 90.
90. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the minutes of the meeting held on April 13, 2020.
Is there a second?
Second.
So, Noreen may return to more summary minutes in the world of online calls and online transcription. Every last if and or but is recorded in an extraordinarily long transcript, which makes it painfully apparent that some of us, perhaps me chief among them, talk too much. But at any rate, there it is. Click into it and you can see the entire transcript of what transpired on April 13. Are there comments or corrections? Hard to correct the
Right?
word
That's
for
what you said.
word
There's
transcription.
a lot of corrections already, so if you saw something.
Yeah.
And
We
listen,
also say that, as is always been the case for our regular videotaped meetings, Shane McGaffey takes the Zoom video and puts it up at pctv76.org, where you can pick that up within a few days of the meeting and take a look at it. So even in an environment where it is not possible for all of us to gather in Village Hall, you can still pick up an on-demand video and follow along. So all in favor of number 90, the minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 91, David.
So I just have a spreadsheet here for the resolution rather than
You want me to? That didn't help. Pixelates.
I can read it on my screen, sorta, but resolve to approve the following budget transfers from the trustees miscellaneous account to central technology software, $1,999. From the contingent account to police overtime, $30,000. From the contingent account to street maintenance, sick buyout, $10,828. From the contingent account to transfer to capital Manville Road improvement, $6,800. From parking enforcement overtime to parking enforcement supplies, $294. From snow removal overtime to street maintenance vacation buyout, $13,693. From health insurance to unemployment insurance, $3,952 for a total of $67,566. In addition, increased revenue and expense of $6,800. The revenue account being an interfund transfer from the general fund, the expenditure account being Manville Road improvements.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Clearly, Mother Nature has thrown at us a virus, but she did not throw at us a lot of snow, so that at least was a modest blessing, which allowed us to save some money in that and transfer it to another purpose. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Nicole, 92.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the abstract for payment of claims dated April 27th, 2020 for fiscal year 2020, covering check numbers 96944 to 97093 as listed below. General Fund, $207,094.37. Water Fund, $142,524.99. Capital Fund, $27,527.54. Refuse Fund, $19,675.14 for a total of $396,822.04.
Is there a second?
Second.
So, as is the case for all of these hot linked attachments, if you click into it, you can get the detail on every single line item that leads up to those totals that Nicole just read. And so if you are interested in where your tax dollars are spent and pay attention on an every other week basis, here it all is.
Mm-hmm.
Comments or questions on the check register? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 93, Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to execute a license agreement with Pleasantville Lofts LLC to access and use a portion of the village's Cooley Street parking lot to temporarily stockpile excavated fill from the construction project at 70 Memorial Plaza. And the description and the agreement are attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
Eric, do you want to give the quick summary on this?
Sure. So the 70 Memorial Project would like to stockpile excavated fill adjacent to their property on a portion of our parking lot. It would take up about 11 parking spaces, which the owner of 39 Washington Avenue has offered to accommodate in his building, Vito Erico, who also owns 70 Memorial. It's at a time period where that parking lot is not being utilized. So we're not even sure if those 11 spots will even come into play, but it is good to have it in our back pocket. They intend to utilize this area only until July 1st. Their original plan had been to truck this stockpile of fill off premise, store it, and then bring it back. So by doing this, we are eliminating plausibly hundreds of truck trips over this time period. And again, they're going to take the fill out so they could pour concrete and then return it to the property after. So again, should be all wrapped up by July 1st.
And
Thank
also, and also, they are making other spots available in the event that we need them. Is that right?
That's right. In 39 Washington Avenue, they have excess parking in that building that's currently going to be made available to the village for any permit holder that is has to utilize it. But at this point, again, we are not thinking it will be utilized, but we will certainly take advantage of it if needed.
All right. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. And the last, which was added, if you had looked at the agenda earlier in the day, we had a conversation in work session about this and added this. Thank you for quick action, Noreen. That is David's.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the waiver of all parking meter fees effective Monday, May 4th, 2020 through Friday, May 15th, 2020, with all parking meter fees resuming as of Saturday, May 16th, 2020. And further resolved, all parking time limits will remain in effect during the waiver of parking meter fees.
Is there a second?
Second.
So we had waived parking meter fees for the month of April because obviously there is a little demand with a mostly closed downtown, as well as no interest on our part in enforcing. Because the governor has extended his New York pause through May 15, we have extended that waiver now as well through May 15. And when that date approaches, we'll reconsider based on whatever is going on. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, but can we fix that little typo in effect? I know it was
Remain
typed
in
with
effect,
minority.
yes. Got it. Acceptable to the mover and the seconder, I assume.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. That was the last of our resolutions. Is there any comment from the board or from any member of the public on any subject or any new business? There being none, we will adjourn our meeting and head back into work session. We have a few more items to discuss. Our next regular meeting is 2 weeks from today on Monday, May 11. And we look forward to seeing you then again. When we cannot be together face-to-face, the centerpiece of our communication should be pleasantville-ny.gov, as well as our Pleasantville Facebook page. And be reminded, take a look if you're interested in the Facebook virtual town hall that we're setting up for Wednesday, the 6th of May at 7:30 p.m. And lastly, keep your eyes peeled or at least your ears open around 12:30 tomorrow for the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels in their salute to first responders as they circumnavigate the New York metro area. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for your attention. Thank you, Paul Alvarez. We look forward to having you join us as a voting member. Get rid of this guy, Lord, for God's sake.
Yeah, right?
Thank you all, and good night.